My name's Michael Schuler, and I bike Ketchikan. I have been here 10 years, and I kind of got back into cycling again probably 3 years into my stay here. I've been away from it for about 4 years, 5 years, and just it is this passion of mine that I've got a lot of history in, and was just missing it. So, kind of hauled the bikes out of the garage, closet, so to speak, and started riding, and did it professionally for 17 years, down, a continental rider, so through North America. Now I just ride for a little bit of competition that I race once in a while, but it's just pretty much just for fitness and for fun. Cycling in Ketchikan is the most difficult place I have ever ridden a bike in my life. And it's this interesting thing, and I'm not sure what it's about. It's a little bit about awareness, that there's just people just don't know what to do, and then there's just I don't want to say ignorance, because I don't want to make everybody mad, but they try to run me over anyhow. So but yeah, so people will look right at you and pull out in front of you, or they'll drive past you and turn right. And some of it is I think that they just, they think once you're out of sight that you're long gone. I don't know how many times, you can be looking right at the driver and they're looking right at you and they just drive out in front of you, and you're just like, you know that if you were a car, they wouldn't do that. There's a preconception that if there's a path next to the road, that's where a bicycle should be. And in many cases that works well. But when you're on a bicycle traveling in 20, 25, 30 miles an hour, it's pretty impractical to be around pedestrians or tourists or people walking dogs with leashes. It just creates havoc. In that situation, you need to be out on the road, and in places the shoulder's narrow. And that's one of the difficulties, is that it requires, you're going so much faster, I guess, than a recreational cyclist. Bicycles have the same, they have to abide by, and they have the same responsibilities and rights as a car. And I think that that's the thing in Ketchikan. The overall perception is that's not, that a bike belongs on the sidewalk or the bike path, or the it's not a bike path, it's a multi-use path. It gets old after a while. Every time you ride, to get yelled at or to get driven down on or even knocked off your bike is, I've been hit 3 times in Ketchikan in 6 years. So there's some education that needs to be done with regards to either respect or just awareness that a bicycle has the same right of way. So one of the beautiful parts about it, I think, is just kind of how hard it can be. You could be in Salt Lake City, or you could be in Portland, or Spokane, or all these places that have wide roads and just great infrastructure for cyclists. And here there is none of that. So you don't just go and ride because it's there. I mean, you really have to want to get out and ride here. I had a friend of mine ask me, this year, so what are you training for? I'm like, nothing. So why are you doing reps on the dump hill? I'm like, because it makes me feel good. I mean, what else? Why else would you do that? You wouldn't do it because you hate it. For me, I do a pretty good job at maintaining. I mean, I turned a wrench for a number of winters, so I've got that pat down. And yeah, you have to know how to maintain your own bike. And there's a circle of, however many road cyclists there are, the 6 or 8 of us here that I kind of do maintenance for. You've got to order parts from out of the area. You can't just go, you can get tubes here, you can get, cartridges to fix a flat tire, patch kit, but that's really about it. If you break a Dura-Ace derailleur, you're going to wait 10 days for it to come in the mail. People hear that I work on bikes, so I've had lots of instances where somebody says, oh, I've got this little problem, can you fix it? I'm like, well, I don't want to say no, right? Because I want people to ride their bikes. That's the whole point. I'm like, yeah, get out there, you know. So yeah, bring it over. And it's just, you know, it's just a bike that's been from Walmart or from, you know, wherever, that's been left out in the rain for 4 years and everything's rusted, you know. And they wanted to run like it used to. And it's like, well, yeah, you can take several hours, you know, on a bunch of parts. And it's a sad thing that kind of goes that way, because it's hard to say the best thing for you to do is to throw this thing in the dump and go to Walmart and buy another one. So my advice for people that are interested in getting into cycling or involved in cycling in Ketchikan is just, you know, if you have a bike, you know, make sure that the brakes work, make sure that you know, the chain's oiled, and by all means always wear a helmet. You know, that can't be stressed enough, no matter where you are. You don't think that there are a lot of people in Ketchikan that ride bikes, but there's really a number of people around that have history of cycling. I think that the cycling scene in Ketchikan is starting to grow with the bike path out south that was done from Buggy's Beach there to Mountain Point. There's all the time there's families with kids riding that, and that's awesome, because I think that might be something that wasn't done. Kids didn't grow up riding bikes around here, and I think that that's an important thing. That's what part of what living here is about.